Okay. Let's do a small test now that I can see everything. Trying to put my iPad somewhere I can see if anybody has any comments. Not sure. Don't know why it's sideways. This is all the fun things that we learn. Nope. Okay. Can everybody hear me? I'm not sure how to do this thing. Switching my camera around. There we go. Hi, Uncle Bill. I have it on my iPad, but it is showing very slow over there. I can't tell if I'm getting comments on my iPad. Well, we're just going to wing it. Gonna do a little chalking this afternoon. Since this is my very first live, I have no idea what's going on here, so hopefully everything is working all right. So we're gonna do some chalk couture, and we're going to do this fresh pumpkins. It's a couple of transfers have shadows. So here's the pumpkins, and then it gets a nice shadow effect over top of the pumpkins after. So I'm gonna take our transfers. I got some of our paste already mixed up and to the side already. I'm sorry I can't see comments, but I'm gonna take our transfer off the backing here, and we're gonna fuzz it so that it doesn't stick too hard to our board. Here's my little towel to fuzz the transfer. I'll fuzz it a couple of times just so it's not too sticky. I'm going to use a different towel. The reason why we fuzz is that sometimes these stick down really hard and it's hard to get them off your backing. So if you fuzz them a little bit, it makes them a little less sticky. So we're going to, put the fresh pumpkins right there. Get the first layer of the pumpkin out. Of course, my iPad went dark. I have it on my iPad, but it is showing very slow over there. Okay, I think I might have gotten the comments up on my iPad. And here we go, and do the, and these are screens. I don't know if you can see my hand through it, but you can kind of see the screen underneath there. So they're not like regular stencils. These are called silk screens, and they have the screen behind it, which helps the paste stay there without leaking underneath. Put these down. Okay, let's do those pumpkins and the fresh first here. Or maybe we'll do the fresh because I think I want the pumpkins up a little higher. So I'll just set that aside for the moment. So I think I'm going to do gray as the fresh with a, which I forgot to cut out, is the offset shadow in black. Let me cut that out real quick. There we go. That way we have them ready, and the pumpkin stems for when we're ready for those too. I didn't realize I didn't cut everything out. Here we go. So let's move that in, make sure that I'm still, so everybody can see. Here's my gray paste. I've already mixed it up. I'm going to take a little paste and run it through the transfer. And off to the side, I do have a bowl of water, a little tray of water to put this in so that the paste does not dry on the screen. Looks like we got pretty good coverage there. I'm going to pull that off. And there we go. So there's their first piece. I'm going to take my heat gun and go and dry this just a little bit, so I don't want to smear it if I get the pumpkins too close to it. It is chalk, so when it dries you can kind of see that it has a matte finish, because it is a chalk-based product that can be removed if done on chalkboards. On this particular project, I won't be removing it. It'll stay here, and I'll put a polyurethane coating over top of it. And let's go on to the pumpkins. Got these little guys here. Trying to get them so that they don't got any wrinkles in it. Alright, so I have two colors of orange here. We're going to do the pumpkin in this color, and we're going to do the shadows in this darker orange. grab another squeegee. I'm going to lay down some orange pumpkins. And it doesn't take a lot of product when you're putting this on. It's just a real light coat. You do want to spread it nice and even though, because especially on like these big open areas, if you leave any, see like I have stripes in there right now, if you leave those it will show. So you want to make sure everything is nice and smooth and even, just so you don't have any of those lines showing. And that is all it is. How simple and easy it is to do some chalk couture. Take these off and look at that. So pretty. I'm just laying my transfers off to the side so they'll dry. I'm gonna dry these again with my heat gun. And then I think we'll add the word pumpkin before we go ahead and do any of the second layers. So I think I want to put pumpkins here, and then I have this 25 cents open daily I want to put at the top, and I think I want to do the pick your own up here. So let me cut those apart so we have those available. Trying to figure out how to do my first live and I forgot to cut everything apart. That's alright though. Only takes a second. So let's do, I'm going to do the pumpkins in the same bright orange color. You're going to want to fuzz this as well. Fuzz all of our pieces so they don't stick too hard. Too sticky. And sometimes it's easier to see once you already have them off the backing, so you can kind of see exactly where you want to put things. Which I forgot to mention earlier is that on the back of your transfers you should write that they're the back so that you put them back on the transfers, because these are reusable multiple times. And I forgot to do that. And once, you know, you take them off the backer and then you don't remember which one goes on which. So I just like to write which ones they are. And this is the pumpkin back. So I'm just writing on the back of them with a Sharpie, so that I know when I wash these and they are done, that I can put them back on the correct transfer. I stuck my squeegee in the water. Let me wash that off so I can reuse that one on for this orange. Piece of paper towel. Alright, let's get these pumpkins done. And you can see how little product. And then whatever you don't use, you can put right back in the jar. And there we go. The pumpkins are done. It's looking pretty nice. Do another little heat set. Let's see how... It's my first time doing a layered stencil like this, so hopefully I don't screw it up. Slide this over here. Because sometimes, depending on what kind of backing you're putting in this on, this is a wood piece, so sometimes it can pull your other layers off, and I didn't bring any wax to wax in between, because sometimes a light coat of wax will help keep your other stencil from sticking too hard and pulling up the chalk. So we're going to fuzz this shadow piece just to make sure that I don't pull up what I just put down. Okay. I'm just lining this up. To put the shadow in. I'm trying not to push too hard so that it doesn't pull up my other chalk pieces, but you don't want it. You want to make sure that it's sealed so that it doesn't bleed underneath. I'll close up the orange since we're done with that. I'm going to take a smaller squeegee that I've cut down and do the black, since we're doing a much smaller area. And this is chalk, so you do want to work quickly, because it can dry while you're working with it, and then that really does pull up your design if it dries while it's still on the board. See, I pulled a little bit of my... I can go back and fix that later though. Just put this in a bowl of water. Probably not the best one to do live when you have so many layers to do, but I was feeling like I wanted to do this one today. So I do have a little bit of wax here. And just the wax kind of makes your board a little slip, gives a little slip so that it doesn't stick so hard. And since this one is such a big open area, let's give ourselves some insurance that it doesn't stick too hard. This is the Chalkology paste wax that is from Couture. It is a little stinky. It has some varnish in it, but it's not too bad. Hopefully that's all we need. Just a little bit of that. And try this right on the back of this. Do a little bit of fuzzing. Hi Mom, hi Jess. Thanks for popping in. My first live. Line this up. You know what? I forgot to put the stems in. Well, that isn't that fun. Well, let's do those first. Got my little stems right here. Yeah, that's why I said it's the first time doing this stencil, so don't know which ones go first. But it's all forgiving, so no big deal. These fuzzed up a little bit. Let's figure out which one goes where. I think this one goes on the little pumpkin. Yeah, looks like it. So we're going to put that in there. I think I'm going to do these in green. I think. Or do I want to do brown? I already got brown out and mixed. So we'll do some brown. I think that looks pretty good. Well, I got lucky. I didn't realize how close that that stem was going to be to my fresh. That's all right. Let's get some brown on there. Just a little touch of brown. Now I'm not sure if the orange is going to show over that when I put the second layer on, but we'll see. Because it's kind of a dark burnt orange. Oh, nice. Those came out good. Put those in my water for the moment, which is not generally what I usually do to clean them, but because we're live and there's so many pieces to this, it's just easier to do it that way. So let me dry that. And I don't know if on camera if it shows, but you can kind of go see it go from glossy to matte. So let's get these on there. Now that we got our little stems in there, that looks a little better. Try and get everything lined up and try to keep my head out of the camera. That looks pretty good. Alright, here's our burnt orangey color. Let me clean off my squeegee. I was using it before, but I'm being a little slow, so the chalk dried on it. Not good enough. Clean enough. At least it's the same color, so I'm not contaminating my chalk. I'm going to take a little bit of this brown, or this, I don't remember what this one's called. Pumpkin pie. There we go. Perfect name for this. Probably should have used a bigger squeegee on this, but hey, it all works. Grab a little bit more and see, just a little bit goes a long way. As I got wet fingers and I know I have it all over the place. It is water soluble though, so we're all good. I'll just wash my fingers off in just a sec. You do want to be careful that, because if you have it on your fingers and you pull it off, you know, you'll get it all over your project. And these stencils can be used with ink, so that makes it a big deal that you don't have dirty fingers, because once you get the ink on your project, it doesn't come off. Let me clean up my fingers here before I pull the, making a mess. That's the fun of crafting, right? So hopefully with a little bit of wax it'll... Well, let me put a little bit more down. Looks like I didn't really use a bigger squeegee. I didn't get a lot of chalk on there. It's not really coming through. Try this again. There, bigger squeegee. That'll work better. And there we go. How pretty are those? I still missed a little bit on the side, but that's alright. It doesn't have to be perfect. So those look pretty. You can kind of see the, I'll bring this up to the camera a little bit, because I use brown, the darker color on the, it shows, just not real. Up close it's pretty easy to see. So, what colors do we want to do? For, say, pick your own. And 25 cents open daily. Got just a little white spot right here. I'm just going to touch in just a little bit, just to kind of cover up that little bit of little white there. There we go. It was just noticeable out of all the little pieces. So let's see. Do we want to do pick your own down here? Since this is smaller and I left more room down this way. Let's do kind of this beautiful garden herb. Bring in some lovely green. This is what it looks like. A lot of times when you open them, they separate. You just take this, called a multi-tool. It's great for stirring, and it has both ends. So this side fits down in the curve of the bottles at the bottom. I'm just going to mix it up and get it nice and yogurt consistency. Mine are all fairly new, but if they do get a little dry, you can always add a little bit of distilled water to loosen them up a little bit more so they're not too thick to use. Hi Angie, thanks for dropping in. First live, it's always a little nerve-wracking. So, got that mixed up. Put my... You should see off camera with all my little pieces. Got a mess going on over here, but that's okay. It all cleans up with water. Super easy to clean the stencils once they're done. And then I can always reuse them on another project. They're reusable up to, I think 12 times-ish. Depends on what kind of projects you're using, but they're reusable multiple times. I've used mine on a couple of mine on like 6 or 7 projects, and they're still perfectly fine. So depends on how and what you're working on, I guess. But mine have been pretty good. Just fuzz this one. Put this down on the bottom here. Trying to make sure I got these straight. I think my pumpkin is a little crooked. That's what happens when you're looking at it not straight down. Oops. It's alright though. And then we'll add do I want to do that? Do I want that up here? So indecisive. The perfectionist coming out, which I hate. I try to get through it. But it is what it is. Okay. Because I think I like the pick your own fresh pumpkins at the top. I wish I just left a little more room up there, but that's okay. Alright. Does everything look pretty straight? I'm going to pick it up so I can see it a little bit better. So it's not too crooked. Like I said, I think my pumpkin is a little crooked down at the bottom, but just shows it's handmade, right? Let's get our green out a little bit here. I'm going to turn this just a tad for me because it's at the top, a little hard for me to reach. And then move down here. Move it back. Make sure everybody can see. Alright, let's pull these off. There's the 25 cents open daily. And pick your own fresh pumpkins. And there's our completed project. Like I said, I can go back and fix this little spot. I didn't wax over top of the fresh before I did it. And this is on wood, so it's a little grainy, so if you notice it's, you know, some of the edges are not perfectly smooth, but that's what happens when you have wood grain. And that's alright, I like it like that. It's very rustic. And there's our finished project for today. If anybody has any questions, you can type them in the comments. I can see comments. I have my other little piece here, but maybe we'll throw that down there and just kind of fill up a little bit of the space. And just put that little tiny piece. Hi, Tracy. I would like to start doing some make and takes too, if anybody's interested in doing a make and take. I know Fort Street Brewery around here might be a good option to doing it and do a sip and chalk. And I haven't talked with them yet, but I know they have a pretty big area. That would be a nice place to do it with them because they're a microbrewery. But I'll have to talk with them and see if they would be interested in doing one. You know what? I'm going to dry this 25-cent open daily at the bottom here so that I don't accidentally peel it off. I don't know how to change my camera, Ma. I know I'm sideways. I can see it on my Facebook Live page that I'm sideways, but I can turn it this way. Maybe it makes it a little easier for you guys to see the full. Like I said, I'm on a delay when I look on my iPad, so just bear with me a minute and see if, because I can't see what's happening. Oh, of course, I have it upside down. So how's that? Of course, because I'm getting old, I have to take my glasses off just so I can see what I'm doing in front of me, but then I can't read the comments without leaning in to look at them. Time for new glasses. Just put this cute little piece down here, and then I'll hold it back up once I'm finished. There we go. There. Just needed a little extra at the bottom, just to fill in that space since I should have brought it down a little bit, but live and learn. So here's the finished product. It's that easy, and then I'll set this aside and I'll show you how to clean a couple of the stencils. I generally do them in the bathroom sink because my bathroom is literally right outside the door of this room. Okay, Mom's saying up higher and to the left. Like I said, I'm on a delay, so I'm hoping that that's showing. Oh, she's saying it's upside down again. Oh, goodness gracious. Eventually I'll figure out how to turn my camera. If Jessica knows, if she's still on and is watching, if she can tell me how to turn my camera on my phone, that'd be great. So let's set that down. There. Now I'm on a camera because I'm pushing it up towards the top, but while everything's catching up to what I'm doing over here, I'm going to put some lids on my paste. You know what? I have a paintbrush handy, I think. Thanks, Mom. Since I have, the other thing you can paint with your paste. I have a little bit of water off camera here. I'm just going to fill in these little spots. I could lay the transfer back down, but obviously right now the transfer is in some water, so it's wet, and you don't want to use the transfers while they're wet because this is chalk and it is removable. So obviously wet transfer on wet chalk. So that'll just clean up some of those spots where my transfer stuck too hard. So there we go. Put a little bit of heat on that. For being the first time I've used the stencils, I'm very happy with the way it turned out. We're going to move this aside and I'll show you how to clean a transfer. So on my work surface, it's kind of hard to see here, it's gray, but this is a matte that is by Ken Oliver. He is a watercolorist and it's called the Perfect Craft Matte. It's quite a big surface. It's very thin, but it's heat resistant in water, so you can heat stuff on it and it's fine for water. So that is what we have laying down here, so it's not just on my plain desk. So I'll show you. I'm just going to take a little bit of water. These cool little things I got at Menards, they're kind of like a reusable paper towel. I'm just going to clean it off. I do have some paper towel right handy so I can clean up my mat. A lot of times what I like to do, like I said, because my sink is right next to this room, is that I take them into the bathroom and I just rinse it off, and then I'll use a magic eraser to get the chalk off the top, and then to re-stick, a Clorox cleanup works well for the for getting the stick back. And I do have some Clorox here that I'll wipe across it because my little scrubby pieces is a little dirty and I keep getting orange on things. So there's that. There's that. And I'm going to set it aside, sticky side up, until they dry, and then I'll put it back on its transfer sheet. So you can see the screen is nice and clean. Like I said, we'll just set that aside until it dries. I'll grab one of these other ones. This surface I think is quite nice for working on. I've had it set aside for a while because I always had a one that you could cut on, a thick what do they call them, healing cutting mats, and that's what I usually had in this space. And then I just recently got the Tim Holtz glass mat, which is really quite nice. So I put this down so that I have this, and then I can put the glass mat on top of it. So when I'm doing other crafting, that I have an option without having to move too much around, because the glass mat can be cut on and it's also heat resistant. See, and some of them stain just a little bit. You can see the green kind of stains there. It doesn't hurt the transfer. Everything is good. It's still reusable. It's just they're used. There's pigments in in the chalk paste, so they can dye some of your stuff. But they are, I never read the bottom of this, imagine that. But they are water soluble and clean up pretty easy. They just happen to, some of the colors will stain. So there's that one. But I won't bore you all with watching me clean transfers for the rest of this. I will just take them into the bathroom and clean them all down. Again, the squeegees is pretty much the same thing. You can just wipe them down. That's what I like, these reusable like paper towels that I got at Menards. They were pretty cheap. I think there was like 10 or 12 in the package for less than $3. And they're kind of cloth-like. They actually have a cloth consistency. And then I just rinse them under the water, and then all of this paste will come out. But it's nice when you have to clean off your tools, especially if you only have a few and you're in the middle of chalking and you don't want to contaminate your pots of chalk. So, but thanks everybody for joining. I'll probably try to do a couple of these a week. If anybody's interested in doing a make and take, let me know. I'm trying to get them together, get everybody, just for a girls' night out, you know, get out for a little bit. I know the holidays are coming, things get stressful and times get short, but I would like to at least get a couple in before Thanksgiving. So if anybody's interested, let me know. You can always private message me. And if you have any questions about how to join or buying your own stencils, I have a site. It's called My Own Crafty World, so it's chalkcouture.com/myownCraftyWorld, and you can pick up your own stencils there. I'm trying to, Mom asked me to show the board again. I'm trying to find it under the camera. I suppose if I stand up I can see it. It's hard to see with my mount. I can't see the whole camera. And my chalk couture is upside down. And while I have everybody here, I do have one other project. This is one of my other favorite projects, and this is on one of the beautiful chalk couture chalkboards that is available. They're stunning. And like I said, these are reusable pastes, and there's also ink that can be done on non-porous surfaces such as tiles and fabric. But this is a chalk couture board, which is just stunning and beautiful. It's one of my favorites. I tried to do this one on a video and just didn't do very well, so I have not washed it off or anything. So, but this is one of the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful chalk couture boards. So, does anybody have any questions? I can answer some questions. Thanks, Mom. And if not, I will see you guys on the next live. And yeah, I'll figure out the next time around how to make sure that I'm not sideways, because my camera goes in sideways. And it gives me more space to film with it in a landscape position, but I'm not sure why on Facebook it's sideways. I'm sure there's a little setting. I'll have to do some research. I can't show you yours. Yours is at home, Mom. I can show the other shadow box that I did. But this is kind of like my mom had put in the comments down at the bottom. Sharon Littman's my mom. is to show hers. And this is one that I did that's similar to hers. I used the large transfer that says on hers is, oh, of course I can't remember which one it was. You know, that's how it goes. Sorry, I'm just trying to see if I can find the wording that's on my mom's, because it's a very pretty saying. Oh yes, this is the one. Of course, it's on the very bottom. That's the one that I did on a larger shadow box for my mom. It says, "Gather here with thankful hearts." Hopefully, I don't know if I'm getting glare, but that's a... Turn my camera a little bit. Maybe I can... Well, now it's quite dark. Try to tip the light away so that you're not getting as much shadow. But that's the shadow box. So it's a very versatile product. You can use it on so many different things. And again, there's the Gather Here with Thankful Hearts, which I have a beautiful large pumpkin that I'm going to be doing this on. Maybe we'll do that Monday night. I'll do a live with the Gather Here with Thankful Hearts. I do have a couple more products coming in on, I think they should be here tomorrow, but I know because Couture is taking off so well that a lot of our products are not in stock. So I have to wait and I know my fall leaves is back in stock, but I do have some other fall foliage that I want to do on this pumpkin, the pumpkin that I'm going to do with this product. So again, this is the product. Hi Stephanie, you caught me at the end. Our product for today. And like I said, if anybody have any questions, I'll take a couple questions. Otherwise, I will see you on Monday when I do my next live. And here's my Couture. And if anybody's interested in joining my VIP group, just let me know. You can send me a message and I'll invite you in. And I offer special discounts and other things that that we might have going on in the holiday seasons coming in. So thanks everybody.